What if I told you a banana once ruled Wall Street? Not gold, not oil, not steel, a fruit, cheap, sweet, yellow. Bananas, strange, isn't it? How could something so ordinary become the foundation of one of the most powerful corporations in history? And how could that same fruit topple governments, move armies, and rewrite global finance? Let's go back. The year is 1870. A Boston sea captain named Lorenzo Baker sails home with a cargo no one had seen before, bananas from Jamaica. Within hours of docking, they're gone, sold out. Americans can't get enough. Bananas are fast. Bananas are cheap. Bananas are addictive. And soon, bananas are everywhere. By 1899, Baker and his partners merged their shipping company with vast plantations. The result? The United Fruit Company. Now, let me be clear, this wasn't just a fruit business. United Fruit was an empire. It owned the land. It owned the ships. It owned the railroads that carried bananas inland, and even the telegraph lines that carried information. In some Central American towns, the company was the economy, and Wall Street loved it. Investors saw bananas as recession-proof. Think about it. People might cut back on luxuries, but bananas, they were cheap enough for anyone. Reliable, profitable. As good as gold, said some bankers. But let me ask you this. What happens when one company grows too powerful? What happens when profit becomes more important than people? United Fruit didn't just grow bananas, it grew influence. It bribed politicians, it silenced critics, it seized land from farmers who couldn't fight back. Competitors crushed, workers paid pennies. And if anyone resisted, well, United Fruit had friends, powerful friends. By the early 1900s, American Marines were landing across Central America, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala. Each time, the reason given was the same, to protect American interests. But whose interests really? The answer was clear. Bananas. These invasions became known as the Banana Wars. Countries that resisted United Fruit's control found themselves occupied, overthrown, or simply bought out. And this is where the phrase Banana Republic was born. Not a cute fashion store. A warning, a name for nations whose politics were controlled not by their people, but by Wall Street and a fruit company. Think about that. Entire governments bent to the will of a corporation, all for bananas. On Wall Street, United Fruit stocks soared, dividends flowed, investors were happy. But behind the shine, cracks began to show. The 1920s brought scandal. United Fruit executives were accused of manipulating stock prices, lying to shareholders, and covering up corruption. Still, the company carried on. Then came the Great Depression. Banana demand collapsed. Revenues shrank. Shareholders who thought they were holding a safe blue-chip stock discovered they were holding rotting fruit. Fortunes vanished overnight, and yet the company survived. How? Power, influence, politics. By the 1950s, United Fruit was back on top. It was so dominant. People in Central America called it El Pulpo, the octopus. Its tentacles reached everywhere. And then came Guatemala. In 1954, President Jacobo Arbenz tried something bold. He launched land reforms. United Fruit owned massive tracts of farmland that sat unused. Arbenz wanted to give that land to poor farmers. Fair, right? Logical. But to United Fruit, this was war. If Guatemala succeeded, other countries might follow. So United Fruit fought back, not with guns, but with propaganda. They launched a campaign in the United States, painting Arbenz as a communist threat. Remember, this was the Cold War. Fear of communism was everywhere. The company lobbied politicians, hired public relations experts, and whispered into the ears of Washington power brokers. The result? The CIA launched Operation PBSU-CESS. Arbenz was overthrown, Guatemala's democracy was crushed, and United Fruit kept its land, a coup, backed by the U.S. government, all to protect bananas. But history has a way of turning. By the 1960s and 70s, United Fruit's power began to fade. Corruption scandals, labor strikes, bad press. Governments no longer bowed so easily. Investors started asking questions. Was this empire still stable? Was it still worth the risk? The answer was no. By the 1970s, United Fruit was forced to rebrand. A new name, Chiquita Brands International. The empire was dead. The octopus had lost its grip. And yet, its shadow lingers. Every time someone says Banana Republic, they're invoking United Fruit's legacy. Every time a corporation bends foreign policy, you can hear the echo of the banana wars. Every time Wall Street sells the illusion of a safe stock, you can remember how bananas once fooled investors. So the next time you peel a banana, pause for a moment, because this ordinary fruit once ruled markets, toppled governments, and rewrote the rules of global finance.